So let's now look into the purchasing options in Amazon EC2. Okay, so there are seven types of purchasing options in EC2. So first is on demand, reserved instance, saving plans, spot instances, dedicated host, dedicated instance, and capacity reservation. Okay, now let us see each of them one by one. Now let us proceed with on demand instances. So on demand is in like you go to AWS, you request for the VM at an instance, right? Here you are not defining the duration and you are directly launching the VM without any further notice, right? So that's why it is considered as one of the expensive purchasing option in AWS EC2 because you are directly doing the configuration and launching the instance as is, right? So here you are being charged by per second. Now, how by second? So basically, for Linux and Windows, you will be charged the first minute, that is 60 second. It is compulsory that you will be charged for 60 second, and then after 60 second, you will be charged per second. Okay. However, VMs, which is apart from Linux and Windows, you will be charged on hourly basis. Now, how does it work? So basically, even if you use the Linux instance for 40 seconds, you will be charged for 60 seconds initially, and then it would be per second, right? So now let us look into the definition. You pay for the compute capacity by the second with no long-term commitment. The option this option is ideal for the people those who are looking for short-term testing and those who are not aware of the workload that they are actually working on, right? So it is being used by development or testing environment for on EC2 for the very first time. All right, let's move into reserved instances. Now, as we are already aware of that in general purpose, it will charge it per second, which is very expensive. There is a reserved instances where we are actually aware of what EC2 service that we need to use for. And here we are getting a discount up to 75%. Why? Because we are making a commitment with AWS that we will be using the service from 1 to 3 years, right? And based off of that, it will be charging us. Now let us look into the definition. It provides a significant discount that is up to 75% compared to on-demand pricing. You commit to a AWS service for 1 to 3 years, and that would be your term. Now, for, for whom it is ideal for? It is ideal for application with steady state or predictable usage, and enterprise which are using to reduce their overall AWS bill. Saving plans. So saving plans are actually it is a flexible model which offers lower price as compared to on-demand instances. But in exchange, you need to do a commitment for 1 to 3 years, and here you will be measured on behalf of the price that you will be setting for you, right? So basically, it is ideal for the user who want flexibility in their cost saving, and secondly, the workloads that can run across instance or region. Okay. Now here is the one of the unique purchasing option that is easy to instance. So basically here you are bidding for the services that you need for, and here you can get up to 90% discount in the instance type as compared to on-demand purchasing option. Now how it actually is working. So let's consider an example of an hotel where you are actually going for stay, but there are 25 rooms and out of which just 5 are empty. Now those are actually vacant and those are not giving any business to the hotelier, right? So what actually we are doing, we are saying that see, the fee of that room is $1,000, but as of now I will be paying you $150 for it. Since the room are vacant, so you come to an agreement with the customer and you will say that yeah, you can stay for the meantime until I don't get another customer for it. But yeah, once I get a good customer who is ready to pay much greater than you, I can ask you to leave immediately. So that is the same concept that we can apply over here in the spot instances because you are bidding here for the unused EC2, okay, for the significant amount, and that is how you can get a discount up to 90% on this specific purchasing option as compared to on demand and prices. Okay, so basically there is one thing that we need to keep note of, that the spot instances can be interrupted by AWS with just 2 minutes of notice. Okay, now for whom it is ideal for? So it is ideal for those type of application which support resume later, and those who are designed in such a way that they even if they are interrupted they can resume the service later. So for those application it is ideal. Now let's move forward with the dedicated host and dedicated instances. Let us go through the definition first and then we'll see the differences between them. So dedicated host, physical server dedicated to your use, provide the ability to use your existing server bound with software licenses. It is ideal for the instances that require dedicated server for compliance or licensing purpose. Now, what is dedicated instance? So dedicated instance run on hardware which are dedicated to a single customer. Okay, please note here the keyword is dedicated to a single customer. So unlike dedicated host, you do not have a control over the instance placement, right? And it is ideal for the application which stagnant compliant requirement, and secondly that need isolation from other AWS customer. All right. Hope you got the difference between both of them. Now let's see the last one, that is capacity reservation. Okay. So capacity reservation purchasing option. It's basically reserve capacity for your EC2 instance in a specific availability zone for a specific duration. This ensures that you have a required capacity whenever you need. So it is ideal for the application that need high availability and uninterrupted operation. And also it is ideal for the workload uh, that are bound with the specific capacity requirements. Okay. Now, how do we know which purchasing option is correct for me? Now, let us take an example of a hotel where we understood about spot instances. Let us compare all of the purchasing option with the same. So, when it comes to on demand, you are coming and staying in resort whenever you want and whenever you like, right? Regardless, you are not following any sort of calendar because, as you already know, that in the weekends the cost of the hotels are higher, and in the weekdays it is comparatively low. So you can even compare it with the festival itself. In Christmas, the cost of the hotels are at peak. However, in the normal days, that is in March, April, it is a mid one. Okay. Now let's move forward with the reserve one. It's like planning a weekend ahead whenever you are going. So basically, you are planning ahead, and if you want to plan for a specific or longer time, you may get good discount. Okay, because you are already telling them you are going to come there, so you need a good discount on it, right? So that is how you maintain a customer and business relationship. Now moving forward with saving plan, you pay a certain amount per hour to certain period and you stay in a room. So it can be any room. So it can be a king suite room, a sea view, a double queen bed, right? It can be anything. So you just pay per hour and you can select any of the room. Spot instance, you bid for a room, a vacant room, and based on your agreement with the hotelier, you can stay for that specific duration. But whenever he get a good amount for that specific room, he will give you notice and you need to empty the room. So that is basically spot instance. Dedicated host, you book an entire building for the resort, and when it comes to capacity reservation, you pay for the room for a specific period, but it doesn't matter whether you stayed or not, right? So that is basically a capacity reservation. Now let us go through the summary for this particular purchasing option. So on demand instance, so by you pay here by the second for the instance that you launch. When it comes to savings plan, you reduce your EC2 cost by making a commitment to a consistent amount for usage, which is charge you on USD dollar, which is per hour, and you do a bond between them with AWS for either 1 to 3 years. Reserve instances, you reduce your EC2 cost by making a commitment to consistent instance configuration, which includes the instance type and region, while making a commitment for the usage for 1 to 3 years. Spot instances request unused EC2 VMs, which reduce your EC2 cost significantly. Now, coming to dedicated host, uh, you pay for physical host that is fully dedicated to running your instances and bring your existing per socket, per core, per software license to reduce your cost. Where if you talk about dedicated instances, you pay by hour for the instance that you run on single tenant hardware. Now, last one is the capacity reservation. You reserve a capacity for your EC2 instance for a specific availability zone. All right. So that was all about purchasing option in EC2. we learned about seven sort of purchasing option in EC2. We learned and saw it with an example for one hotel, and at the end we saw the summary of the purchasing option in EC2. I hope you got the gist of this specific one. And even if you didn't get about this specific thing, you can even refer the documents and you can get a lot about it, right? So basically, purchasing option is just for knowing what sort of requirement you have and how you can save your money while you are designing your EC2 instances, right? So I hope you got to learn a lot from this specific video. So see you in the next one. Thank you.